those areas? Neonatal. Neonatal means causes which are contributing to death in the first 4 weeks after birth. And that's where science can do a lot more. As budding scientists, you may want to look at what are those diseases and problems which occur very early, just at birth or even prenatal, and how can they be eliminated. That is a very large proportion. The other two, where most of the solutions are known, are about diarrhea and pneumonia. About 1/3 of children still die because of diarrhea or respiratory diseases. We have the vaccines, we have this salt sugar solution which is called the oral rehydration solution, and yet 1/3 of the kids under 5 do not manage to celebrate their 5th birthday only because they haven't got that simple solution, which is the oral rehydration solution, or the right medicine when they had a respiratory illness. Imagine that. And that means science still has a long way to go in delivering the medicines at the right time when they suffer these diseases. 7% of children in the world die due to malaria. Measles vaccine has been available and still 4% die due to measles. Now, where are these deaths occurring? You see the comparison, the industrialized countries versus developing countries. It was in 1990, 9 times, 10 and 99, or 10 times almost, and look at it now, 6 versus 72, whereas in the industrialized countries, it has gone down from 10 to 6. The rate of progress is not the same when it comes to developing countries. If you look at it now, 6 versus 72, it's 12 times. In 1990, it was 10 times between the industrialized countries and developing countries. Now it is 12 times. So the benefit, the fruits of development are all even reaching countries unevenly. Who managed to get the fruits of development first? It's the better off countries. Just as I said, who gets it within a country? Those who have the power, they always get it. And that is why it is important to look at this difference and say, is this what we want? Is this the way we want the world to be 10 years, 15 years from now? And again, look at it, sorry. Okay, again, look at it in sub-Saharan Africa. The rate of progress has been very slow. The rate of progress has been reasonably good in South Asia and other parts of the world, but sub-Saharan Africa, it's not been good enough. And that's why the world is still to meet this goal. So from about 12 million children who were dying in 2000, now it's about 8.8 million dying every year. Okay? I will run through these now. Again, this is what I was saying. Look at the diarrhea. only 39% receive this oral rehydration therapy in the developing countries. Okay? And you can see it's only 1/3 in Africa. It's a little better as you go further to East Asia. Look at the pneumonia, as I said. Sub-Saharan Africa is again very poor. Only about 6 out of 10 children, when they have pneumonia, get their treatment. Others are not getting the treatment. So that is the rate of how we are able to deliver results. This is about something that happened in science. Again, you know about the bed nets. You know, we have the mosquito nets. You have the mosquito nets, we prevent mosquitoes from biting you in the night. And recently, what happened is, about 10, 12 years, a new technology came in by which you can bind those chemicals, the chemical repellents of mosquitoes, to the nets, and thus save the population from biting children below 5 or pregnant women. Or all those people, if you and I get bitten by a mosquito and suffer a disease, we can get treated. But those who we can get treated and we will get help. Of course, we will suffer the disease for some time, we will have problems, but children below 5 years and people who are pregnant, if they get it, then their chance of getting treatment in time and chance of getting better soon is relatively lesser. So as a priority, they are the ones who should be getting these impregnated. This IPL is impregnated treated nets. Okay, you should impregnate the chemical and treat the nets, the bed nets, and that should be available. If you look at these green bands are what it used to be in the early 2000s and now in the late 2010. These are data between 2008 and 10. So many countries are trying to do that, and that's how they are trying to improve their children's mortality status. As you see, in 2004, only 30 million nets were produced globally. Now 150 million nets are produced throughout the world. By the way, these nets now, because as I said, these are chemicals. These chemicals are binding to nets which are made from petroleum products. You know, the polyethylene kind of thing, like you have the plastic. So these are plastic nets, and the chemicals bind to the plastics. And that is why the oil producing countries are the ones which can produce these nets in large numbers as a byproduct, and they can then save the world a lot. So many of the nets are now, they are trying to manufacture them in countries which produce oil, such as Angola, Nigeria, Sudan, Tanzania. Those are the countries, if they produce these nets, the chemical comes from just one part of the world, China and Japan. And that there is countries work together to get these chemicals available and treat the nets and make these nets available. So that is what is how the science helps to change the malaria scene in the world. Here you see rural areas, it's higher. You see poorest households, higher. That's where the unifying mortality is higher. See, even here, who are likely to, although these may be given free, who ends up getting it? The families who are richer. Because they know, they get the information, they get to go and get it from where it is available. The poor ones, poor families won't even get the information in time that nets are available either for a fee or free. And therefore, they don't get access to these nets in time. MDG 5 is about maternal health. Now I won't take too long. This is about, again, look at, it's not just South Asia. You see there are parts of Eastern Europe and parts of Latin America also having high maternal mortality. It is, when you look at other goals versus this goal, it again tells you how women are treated in our world. Women are still, even in New York state, you will find maternal mortality rates have not reduced as high or as the same way child mortality rates have reduced. That's because even very well developed societies such as in this country tend to treat women a little as second-class citizens compared to treating children in their own society. So this is exactly what happens, and that's why maternal mortality all over the world is being an enigma. There have not been enough solutions because it's about how we treat women. It's almost to be thought of as violence against women. If women are not getting the correct attention at the time of childbirth, it means there is the society is willing to treat them as if violence against women is normal. So that is what this is a sign of. And this is something which we together have to fight. We have to start looking at the norms and standards of our own behavior, of our behavior of brothers towards sisters, and eventually our brothers towards their wives when they grow up. And we need to create that norm and culture right through if we need to have our mothers get the right amount of attention during childbirth.